So, we're going to start this 7-day practice of looking back as though it's New Year's 2029, and we're looking back 10 years to today. Get yourself comfortable so that you can be relaxed, ideally warm and settled so that our body can be still, and to give yourself all kinds of permission to do whatever is going to actually really be the best thing for you right now. So that might mean moving around a little bit or sitting up and writing in a journal or whatever that is for you. And notice as you're starting the practice what your experience is right now. Tune into the body, the breath, the energy, the thoughts in the mind, the whole experience at the beginning. And tune into the fact that you're here, of all the things you could have been doing today in this moment that you brought yourself to this practice. That's a significant positive event in our lives, especially when we do it regularly. We come into a practice. You might even imagine what it would be like to be here 3 years from now, 10 years from now. You might imagine what your body would be like. If we're already a little on the older side, we might be a little horrified by that. I don't know. But don't go so far out into the future that you can't kind of relax with it. Just tune in and notice a couple of years from now, when I come for the daily practice, whether it's here or on your own or with someone else, you will have had a lot of time of consistency and practicing every day or most days. And this kind of practice is really transformative. I know for me, it used to take me a long time to just get in my body to notice, oh, my shoulders are really tight, my neck is sore. I would be sitting on the floor, which was difficult because my legs would go asleep. And now I can give myself permission to sit in a chair. But I just really noticed that my body's pretty relaxed at the start, most of the time. And so I can let that kind of move forward into the future once you've been doing these practices for however long you have now, and then projecting that into the future. Your body's just going to get more and more relaxed, and your breath will get deeper and smoother. And the incredible health effects that that has on our body. So, even though your body might be older, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not even healthier than it is right now. So, let's start there when we're working with our looking back. This future self is coming into the practice, relaxing, noticing the breath. Imagine yourself completely relaxed. Your body is resting comfortably, there's no pain. Your breath is easy and smooth, and it's so familiar. You've done these practices and gone into the body and noticed what's there and softened and breathed so much. that it's really familiar. And that might be one of the things that your older self would reflect back. Thank you so much for doing this, for consistently coming to the practices and learning how to really be aware of your body and letting go of tension and all that that means for our health. And if we've been doing these relaxations for a while, we know the difference it makes. So we could take that in, our future self reflecting back to us how important this is and how they appreciate that we've continued to do this. Even when we felt awkward or there was pain in the body, that we learned how to be more patient with ourselves. And every muscle that's relaxed allows the blood to flow through. Our whole body is so much healthier when there's not that contracted, tight kind of defendedness in the body. One of the things that we know about our body is that it stores trauma, it stores these sensations. And as we heal, that softens. And notice that too. We reach a tipping point fairly early on in our practices of being in the body, of being really present with ourselves, where we know that there's no threat here, that pain in the body or a tight clench in your gut or anything that's going on in your body that you're noticing isn't there to be a problem for you. It's there to catch your attention, or it's because there's some stored memories and some stored feelings of helplessness or fear. And we know how to turn to that. And we know we don't have to be scared of ourselves. There's nothing in our body that's here to hurt us. And your future self has had so much more time, so much more experience that that's true. That developing of a relationship with our own body where there's no fear, there's a welcoming. That's something to be grateful for, something that our future self would remind us about and thank us for, that we've done this work and we're doing this work to really get that, to experience that we're safe in our own body. Take some deeper breaths. And in the future, we'll have had so many more years of this deep relaxation and really smooth breathing that that will really be an automatic habit. We have this birthright of smooth, deep, diaphragmatic breath. Circulation is good in our body when we're breathing well. And through fear, we've often developed a habit of holding our breath. It becomes something that happens more often than not, or we breathe quite shallow. We don't have enough room really to breathe well because we've got all that tightness through the neck and shoulders, through the chest, through the gut. And our future self is not experiencing that at all. That's long in the past. And that's definitely something that they would appreciate about you doing these practices of you breathing and learning to watch your breath. And when you notice you're holding your breath, to let that go and let ease come back into the breath. And what a change that makes in life when you're breathing instead of holding your breath. Notice the subtleties of how it feels in your body when you breathe. There's that softening of your belly, moves back towards the spine. As you're breathing out, when your belly softens, it allows the diaphragm to release and the air to leave the lungs. As we're breathing in, the diaphragm comes down, the belly expands or rises. But all of that is happening through the diaphragm muscle. It's not happening through the muscles in our stomach. Our only job with the breath is to relax our body so that the diaphragm can work properly. It has room to move. And even though the diaphragm is not a muscle that we control exactly, it's an autonomic process, our breathing, we still have a more robust, healthier muscle when we've relaxed our body all around it. When there's room to breathe, when we're not as afraid or we're not holding our breath. Notice all of the muscles around the rib cage, from the collarbones down through the muscles that cover around the hearts, the lungs, down to the lower rib cage where the diaphragm muscle is moving. And as you breathe in deeply, notice what it is that's moving. When we're breathing diaphragmatically, it's mostly the lower ribs that are expanding open. And notice the sides of your rib cage as well, from the lower ribs up through the underarms. And if we breathe deeply enough, we can feel that in our lower back as well, and mid back, upper back. But notice the lower ribs. When you breathe in, can you feel the lower ribs at the back of your body? All those little intercostal muscles between the ribs have been lubricated and stretched open through years of this wonderful deep diaphragmatic breathing. There's lots of room in that area now. There's no resistance to a deeper breath. And maybe that's something that you've noticed already, the difference in your breath and in your body with your smooth diaphragmatic breath, and as you've learned to stop holding your breath. And you could think ahead to a few years in the future or 10 years in the future of this continuous ease in the breath and what that's going to mean in terms of your health of your body, health and relaxation of your mind. And let your breath settle into whatever rhythm and pattern it wants to do in the moment. And rest with the breath, keeping some awareness on your breath. You could also notice the full breath in the nostrils. There's that coolness as you breathe in and the warmth as you breathe out. Relax your forehead and eyes, mouth and jaw. And notice the sensations of air moving in your nostrils. Notice which nostril has more airflow, which is your active nostril. Notice if you can feel the in breath down into the back of your mouth and throat. And what are those sensations? And soften through your mouth and jaw, your neck and shoulders. And notice this tendency of our body to soften and relax as we breathe out. You can notice your whole body. You could notice a part of your body, like your forehead and eyebrows, your stomach, your belly. And in the future, you'll have a lot more years of this practice. You could visualize the pink, healthy tissue in your lungs and the strong heart muscle, how that pumps the blood and the nutrients and the nourishment of the in breath to the whole body, every cell in the body. Your body is alive, healthy, energetic. And as you put yourself into that time in the future where you're really benefiting from this, you're benefiting from this time of practice that you're doing now, that you've done before, and that you'll be doing between now and 2029. Our bodies are transformed by these practices, by relaxing and breathing, letting your mind settle. Really feel that. Feel the health and the energy in your body. If you were to be having a conversation with your future self, that they would let you know how much better they feel and how much more health there is and energy. The benefits of all of this practice and of years of a softer body, a deeper breath, and that we're doing the practice and benefiting from it right now. And we're also really benefiting from it in the future. Just as right now we're benefiting from all of the practice we've done to this point in time. And what might your future self say? How they might encourage you with just letting you know how important it's been, continues to be. Let yourself rest and feel that. Let yourself soak in that appreciation and feeling the benefits of all of the relaxation and breathing that you're doing now. How that's transforming your body as you move forward into the future. And how grateful your future self is for what you're doing now. And set your intention to come back to that a few times at least today and before you go to bed tonight, to relax your body and do some breathing and just touch in to really let in the benefits that this has now and in the past and in the future, even though we're experiencing all of that in our mind right now. To really notice and let that be present. And give yourself credit for every time during the day when you touched into your breath and relaxed your shoulders, moved a little bit. Everything that we do helps. And we could appreciate the little things too. And then when you're ready, finish the practice and open your eyes.